We are live.
We are live. Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are in the world, and welcome to another edition of Living World of Darkness, Rage Across New York. Tonight's episode takes us to Hell's Kitchen, New York City. But just before that, just outside of it, Milo is in that sort of region of Manhattan, in some of the unclaimed territory, and um, he shoots a text over to Havika, and he says something along the lines of, "Hey, I got some information. It's not much, but I was hoping we could talk in person. Is it all right if we do a walkabout?"
He'll respond and go and saying, "Not a problem," said, and points out a location, just in more or less a random spot in Hell's Kitchen to meet him at.
Milo makes his way over to that spot. Has a as he arrives from around the corner, Milo is wearing a deeper blue suit that can almost be mistaken for black, but not quite. With a white business shirt under, tucked into formal wear pants that match the suit coat. He's not wearing a tie; it's unbuttoned. Um, and yeah, he's looking around for Havoc. Is he in the shadows or?
No, he's just you'll see him walking towards you, and just um it seems to be worn slacks and just a buttoned up shirt. He kind of raises an eyebrow as he gets closer to you, seeing your attire, and he has a small little smirk on his face, looking a little bit though disheveled, and goes, "So she finally had her way with you, huh?"
Not quite.
But jokes aside, I'm assuming that you got in work.
I have, surprisingly enough, he's a diplomat.
He quirks his head at that. That's like, as in she was being diplomatic for you, or you're watching over a diplomat.
Watching over a diplomat.
Wow, that was ass.
Yeah. Well, I don't think you're gonna like where I got the connection from.
Hey man, we talked about this, and as long as she's on a level, we'll be fine.
He
I'm
nods.
I'm just surprised that she. No, I was expecting, which you got it through her, so maybe I should have expected more, but I thought it'd be smaller, you know. Somebody's
Me
birthday
too.
party, grocery stores, and all that kind of thing.
Me too. But I've really jumped into this whole idea feet first. So, well, I don't know. It feels just as quick and God, what's the word? Following my gut as the whole thing. So
Well, this says one thing for sure. Regardless whether or not that you believe in yourself, she does.
yeah, I surprised you haven't warned me about her yet.
I warn everybody about her. I'm getting tired of saying it all the time.
It's fair.
But you've also stated she's been nothing but kind to you, so I have no reason to try to sour your opinion about her.
you're just looking out for me, and I get that. I had that conversation with Zelda a long time ago too, and I try to keep it in mind. But man, I I'm just not picking it up.
Well, I'm surprised Zelda has a problem with her. Uh, or am I misunderstanding that?
Well, she definitely seems to be on the same level as you are.
Hmm.
There's something hidden.
Sure, she's not just trying to be difficult because she's a Silver Fang?
Could be. She tends to work with Silver Fangs a lot these days over at Pride of the Sun. So
That's true.
might be more than. But
Eh,
regardless of what's going on, it's it's been boring work. He is incredibly not that I feel ways about the British, but man,
hey, well, think it this way. Nothing goes wrong, that means your job's easy, and you still get paid, right?
right. I'm hoping that when this grows, the money from the contract, if all successful, will open plenty of doors. It's a hell of a mark on my resume, the company's reputation.
So, I'll have a good nods to that. And you kind of gesture just to kind of begin walking just down the street. But curious as with this particular diplomat, what was he afraid of?
Well, he's kin.
Ah, so he had lots of reason to be afraid.
That he does.
No, that should have made it easier on you. You don't have to hide your talents as much.
He does, in a way, because it's him. But some of the places we go to, rooms that I can and can't enter. Not many that I can't enter, but it's it's places that any one of us should be afraid to go to, being what we are.
Yeah, excuse me. As long as she doesn't take advantage of you, as long as you get your credit, so you'll be golden. And if you guys are able to get more and more, not saying that this person isn't important, but let's just say more natural customers, you could eventually get to the point where you don't have to be too directly involved, just need to manage it.
Yeah, I'm really hoping that whatever it is you and Zelda see, I'm hoping that it's too late to see it. Not that I think it's there, but I'm definitely in a vulnerable position with this.
That's sad. For now, said, take her on good faith. Said, I don't want to burden you with our own hang-ups.
I appreciate that. While still doing my best to hold on to your wisdom.
And probably because you've had more chance to talk to the cub than I have. How's Malcolm been doing since our little excursion at the hospital?
I got the chance to talk to him earlier today. Actually, he's doing all right. I We didn't get to talk much, so I could be wrong. But on the surface, he seems to be doing all right. He's still sketching. He can still put a smile on. We wanted to see how Cesar was doing.
I haven't heard much from him outside of the atypical gossip. He's doing alright?
Who, Cesar?
Yeah.
Yeah, he and I spar every once in a while. He's been getting really into training, and yeah, I asked him how he was doing today, and he seemed to be really into the training. For some reason, Malcolm wanted to ask more, but I don't know. He seems to be doing all right.
Cesar, when I first saw him, though not practiced, he, he carries himself he carries himself like a person that knows about violence. So this may be another signal of that, or not cares. I mean, understands violence. Bah.
He does. It's still worth probing, but I don't know. I could try, but no.
I've talked to him a few times. I don't think it'll hurt him too much asking him questions.
He's managed to keep his humor about him. So, regardless of how he is now, confident that he's going to make it. I'm confident that he feels he's playing for the right team.
That's good. So we need all the allies we can get.
Yeah. Hey, speaking of problems, I heard about these this like auction for these Native American relics. One of the rumors going around on Sept. Have you heard?
I have. Yeah.
Well, I didn't get much. It's not really in my wheelhouse, but in case you hadn't, he says, pulling out his phone and trying to flip around to his phone's notes. Here we go. The company is Colonial Relics Incorporated. They what I dug up here says they specialize in safe, effective curation of archaeological sites and relics in urban environments. Cater to private interests. They find, dismantle, transport, and reassemble sites in their state-of-the-art laboratories and then work with the owners of said relics to either send them to a museum or be preserved for private ownership. Their main specialty seems to be pre-colonial Native American sites on Manhattan and Long Island.
I have a good nods to that. I appreciate the information. I didn't know that. Now that I know that there's more directly, hopefully, just people involved, I might be able to talk him into giving me time with them. I was afraid that I might have to do a heist and take him away from.
Well, let me know. I've been getting better at people stuff. I always figured that avenue was closed as soon as the first change came about, but I'm finding out pretty quickly that it's not, and I'm not half bad at it.
I had confidence that you would be. You're a better people person than I am.
I believe it. I've seen what you do to people.
He nods to that with a small smile on his face. I need a. As he yawns a bit and kind of shakes the sleep off his face. Yeah. I'll need to try to budget some time to put more interest into that. Been busy with work and with that bridge, and then going through my studies as well.
Bridge.
There's a bridge, the Brooklyn Bridge to be specific. It's the Weaver has great interest in the bridge, and I've been monitoring
On it.
monitoring,
Woo!
watching the bridge for a few days now.
Anything interesting?
Nothing yet. I haven't done anything outwardly hostile to them, but I won't say I haven't been annoying.
Makes me wonder where all of those spiders from the hospital went.
And those other worm things. It was weird when we dealt with them. They didn't have a spiritual connection like they typically do. They were only on the physical side. And also whatever those freaks were that basically knew that those things were there.
Talked to Clay about that. He said that sounded like Fomori. I hadn't considered it at the time, but it does.
Makes sense. They were way too tough just to be regular people. Especially dealing with Voss's kinfolk, I have a decent gauge.
But Fomori with a deformity so subtle. I'm used to seeing them completely turn into monsters.
That's the awkward part. I hear all types of rumors about the foray. There's some that are just supposedly just possessed, he puts in air quotes. Look absolutely normal until they get agitated and their eyes glow and they start speaking in a different language. But I don't know. I'll be honest, despite me being a 10, I haven't done too much worm research.
Well, anyone can. For you.
I don't know. I'm a little concerned if people are going to worry about them going missing. And hopefully, the main thing I'm severely concerned about that they weren't being watched. Because maybe they just... Because hopefully they'll just think that their team got destroyed by whatever monster they sent after, and they're not looking at us.
Well, they don't have much left to find anyhow.
That
after
is
what
true.
Missy did.
And then we also need to figure out whether or not those things were bound to that place or if they were a symptom of whatever those people were doing originally in the hospital. Which, unfortunately, I feel like it's the latter. So,
Yeah.
that is still a problem. And apparently that monster that had that whole mural thing back in that one homeless area where the drugs were really bad, it's very real and was there that night.
I remember Malcolm mentioning it. I wish I could have seen, but I'll take his word.
Like I told my pack early on this month, said vacation time's over, time to get back to work.
Yeah. And now I have to worry about ripping my nice new suits.
Or if you're lucky, you'll learn how to change out of your clothes quickly, like Superman.
I'll tell you, one thing that I was not expecting would be as difficult as it is. He takes a second to button the top button of his coat, and then with one hand, with just his like index finger and his thumb, like very quickly and very subtly unbuttons it in one very quick fluid motion. That has taken so much practice. They make it look so easy.
I haven't got a risen eyebrow to that. It's like, are they like really tight? Like, I haven't worn formal clothes, at least like those, and never.
We're still getting used to that too.
And outside of the relics in your company, anything else you want to talk to me about?
There is, and I hope you don't take it the wrong way. But I wanted to check in on you after the hospital. You know, there was a lot of stressful shit that happened there. Missy came back from the brink. I wanted to know what was going on between your ears.
Missy ain't no wimp, but I won't deny I was concerned. That thing was vicious, and I'm happy that we had the tools we needed to make sure everybody got out okay. And somewhat disappointed in myself as he kind of looks at the ground a little bit sheepishly. I was nearly as vulnerable as those Fomori were when my guns were taken away. I need to work on that.
Well, it's good to see you on four legs again for a change.
So, he nods to that. It was a real fight, and they were heavily armored. Lupus wasn't going to help me there. And I didn't want to cause too much of a scene with Krenos. But I'm proud that Malkin was able to do it, and well, not necessarily, he wasn't in Krenos, but he can at least, seems like he knows how to shift the forms relatively easy enough.
Mm-hmm.
So, that means he's learning something.
Yeah. Healing being one of the biggest, most important ones. Definitely doesn't strike me as a frontline fighter, so Glad he's good and quick at what he wants to do.
Yeah. So the main thing is he was ready. He didn't freeze up. That was, if I'm assuming this right, that was at least his first and or second actual real confrontation, wasn't it?
I haven't been keeping score with the Cubs as much. I get a lot of attention from everyone else. I give them attention at the over easy. Just ask how they're doing.
Well, I'll have to ask him about that when I get the chance. Uh, my pack told me there was a confrontation between Chase's and Tina.
Oh shit!
Uh, it was it was a conflict of ideals. They had to put down some kinfolk. They were infected. She didn't much care for that.
So we couldn't save them.
I trusted that Chase saved them the best he could have.
Milo nods. Hard lesson.
And that's the biggest problem. It is a hard lesson. And it's not a fun lesson, and it's not a good lesson to be the first one either. It'd be nice and easy if it was just killing monsters as their first trials. Dealing with the grayer aspects of what we do as a first encounter is not a good way to start things.
No. Tina's ready for that gray too. One of the times we were just talking, she asked about being a monster and we had to do, and I don't know. I do not know. What I do know is that when she is ready, she is going to be a humongous pain in the ass.
Well, as long as she's a good pain in the ass, we'll deal with it. But,
Fucking ragabashist.
well, if she ever wants my opinion, I'll tell her the same thing I told Caesar. It's like everybody's a monster, we just have an easier time taking advantage of it.
Yeah. Glad to see her holding together well, though.
In comparison to our last trial, this is pretty simple right now.
Yeah. For now. I'm still worried about our enemies evolving. We've got different types of sleepwalkers, if we can even call them that now. These shadows. These lumbering, tall ones. The faceless horde. And this man with the wings.
Yeah, we may need to. I don't know, we should. But make them a bigger priority. Like you said, they're devolving. And we don't want them to devolve into something that we can't handle.
Agreed. I have the worst feeling that either we're going to encounter more of those things at those other facilities you'd mentioned.
Yeah. especially if those buildings are active. Unfortunately, Missy won't be able to burn them down. At least not easily.
Uh,
But we'll get to that bridge when we cross it.
Milo nods. Probably should be a good idea for T not to pull the same trick. If only because Dorian seemed to kind of question and criticize the idea that maybe there was something left over since we didn't get to, check every corner.
Mm. I'll put that into consideration.
That's all we can ask. Any more skirmishes with glass on the wall?
Not that I know of. So I'm assuming she is, content, let's say, for now.
Yeah. Last we'd spoken, Icarus brought me along for some questions. She mentioned the Upper East Side, which is where we went to the hospital at. It was also the locations of those other facilities, if I remember right.
He nods to that. Hello?
Yep.
Okay, sorry, I'll make sure my voice came through. Yeah, he nods to that. Well, I will do my best to try to be more active. I've been distracted, as I said before. School and work have been taking up a lot of time, but obviously my duties to Guy are a bigger priority.
Yeah. How's that going, by the way, though? Is it still worth it? You feel like you're. His face kind of struggles with it, but he says, "Learning."
I'm actually earning a decent deal, but in the end, at least this is less about. Well, it's not less. The knowledge is obviously important, but the fact that I have a piece of paper that shows that I'm willing to commit so much time, and not only commit, but be skilled at a certain task, will open a lot of doors.
That's good.
I could be taken more seriously if I'm going to do any type of public speaking, or if I need to make a loan or take a loan, etc., etc.
Yeah. I'm sure that'll be of use to more than just you, for the whole set.
If I can do what I've been planning on doing, I can hopefully benefit not just simply the SEP, but maybe even the city.
Really? Mind if I ask about those plans?
Though it won't have the same resources that it had before. If I can maybe still get some of the connections that IES still had, we can have a basis of power inside of What's the word I'm looking for? Uh, well, energy. It's the business of energy. That is a
Hmm.
very big platform.
Is maybe now we can get people to look at alternative fuel sources the right way. That's not really been my platform, but you know, I know that it's a thing, and it's for greater minds than me to tackle. Right.
Indeed. But that's the first step. It's just at least get the idea in their head.
Mhm.
I shouldn't put the cart before the horse. The cart before the horse.
The hearse, dark.
Still need to actually graduate, and then we still haven't. I still haven't heard any decision if they're even going to try to get that place up and running again. It could stay down forever.
Mm-hmm. And then he's still out there.
Yes, he's still out there.
Do you know what scares me worse than him being out there?
What?
That him out there alone, and that there are other things out there, new problems that we're facing. What scares me is that someday there's going to be an enemy that comes to face us, and that when they do, they throw Vasily's corpse at our feet.
There's always a bigger fish.
That's what they say.
Yeah, Havika's face kind of looks twisted in thought, bringing up that perspective. We just need to make sure that we stay ready. I mean, we stay vigilant.
Milo nods. I've come to terms with come to terms with most of the things out there are impossible to plan for. And I think that's something that excites my pack. We like we like adapting to mystery really quick.
That's good.
It's exciting. Hard to be bored.
Yeah. But I'm happy that you wanted to check on me, and I appreciate the information you gave me. But for now, as Havika yawns, yeah, I'm gonna take a small nap and then finish up this paper.
Of course, let me know. Let me know when you want to make a move on colonial relics, if you need a hand.
I will.
Milo stops walking and offers his hand to shake.
Havika shakes it firmly.
Take care of yourself. Weak mind, a weak heart. Kill us much faster than weak arms and legs.
He nods emphatically with that. Sad. Sad Gaia willing, Crowcatcher.
He smiles and nods and repeats it. Diawelli. And he'll, unless Havoc has anything else, he'll turn to leave on that note.
And with that, thank you players for playing. Thank you watchers for watching. Have a good morning, evening, or night.